It doesn't matter how long you've been stuck, it doesn't matter how old you are or how behind in life you feel, that's all it takes to transform your life. And thinking about those is exactly what's holding you back. In 2022, I quit my job as a medical doctor. At the time, my YouTube channel was starting to blow up. I thought to myself, oh, this is my big opportunity to build something for myself. For the next year, I seriously thought I had made the biggest mistake of my entire life. I completely underestimated how demanding and difficult it was to build a business, and I struggled to make ends meet. I was stuck in a dark place for a long time. I was scared about the future. I was embarrassed that I told all my friends I was quitting and then I wasn't as successful as I thought I was going to be. I haven't really shared this side of myself publicly. I don't think I was ready to, but I think I am now, because I know that there are so many people out there who do feel stuck, who do feel like they might have made a mistake or they can't fix their life, and I want to show you that it's possible. I want to share the important lessons I've learned from navigating the hardest transitions in my life, and I guarantee you, if you follow these, you will transform your life. And the best place to start is to understand the number one reason, I think, why people get stuck. When I got accepted to medical school, it was honestly one of the happiest days of my life. I remember I called my brother, my mom was crying on the phone. I think I cried a little bit too, because I'd been working so hard for 6 years to get there. But sometime during the first couple of years, things started to feel off. I wasn't really looking forward to anything. I wasn't enjoying the experiences the same way my friends were. And I remember I would lie in bed, awake at night, and just dread going to the hospital. Like, Sunday scaries were a daily occurrence. And it wasn't because I didn't care about helping people. I loved that part of it. But the day-to-day of being in medical school, it drained from me. It drained my spirit, you know? I thought this was just a slump, and so I waited and hoped for some spark to come back, but it didn't. And I kind of just went through the motions of taking exams, going to the hospital, and talking to patients and all this stuff. But I wasn't really there. It wasn't until Mike, who's my brother, suggested that we start a YouTube channel as a creative outlet that things started to change. At first, it was just fun to make stuff. I'd always loved playing music, and he just liked making videos, so we were just kind of messing around with it. But then COVID hit, and we decided to get serious and actually start to grow the channel. I went down the rabbit hole of how to grow on YouTube, and I remember very, very vividly, there was this video by Ali Abdaal about how much money he made a week as a YouTuber and medical student, and it completely shattered my belief about online business. I was like, holy shit. Ali is a medical student, but he freaking did it. He turned medicine into an optional path for his life. And it was because of YouTube and building leverage through online business. And just seeing that gave me hope. And looking back now, I realized that I had options, right? We always all have options. I just didn't think about how I can change my life because I didn't believe it was possible to. My mind wasn't open to the idea that entrepreneurship could give me freedom to do what I wanted to do and still make an honest living out of it. And that is what I think the number one reason why people get stuck. We don't see an alternate future, and so we believe that this is how things are supposed to be. But if you want to change your life over these next 3 months, you have to start by changing your belief about what is or isn't possible. Search for those things. Study the success of creators or innovators who you admire, and open your mind to the possibility that you can live a different life, that there is something greater for you. I've had this experience happen to me multiple times now. It's a mixture of emotions, right? For some people, it's fear. It's like, shit, everything I know about the world is wrong. For some people, it's anger, like you want to reject it because that means that you're wrong. But in there's also a sliver of excitement. And you gotta push on that, because that's what's gonna allow you to do something different. Once I started thinking differently about the world, it automatically changed what I did, what I allowed myself to do. I began to read business books and self-improvement books. I started consuming productivity content and creator economy YouTubers, stuff I'd never done before. And for the next few months, I felt like a kid again. When you're young and you have this boundless imagination, you're curious and you want to explore everything. That was me. I was like in flow. And as I worked on my videos, I learned how to script, learned how to film and edit. I felt that spark that I hadn't had in years. I was excited to wake up and go to work. I was stoked to wake up early on a Saturday and work on content. I was challenged, I was growing, and for the first time in a long time, I felt alive. Now, I'm not saying that if you start a YouTube channel, you'll experience the same thing. My point is, once you expand your mind and you catch some kind of curiosity bug, you have to follow it and you have to commit to some kind of personal project. I I think starting a YouTube channel or a business is one of the best personal projects you can do for so many reasons, but it was perfect for me. It aligned perfectly with my values, my interests, and my creativity. But the main thing is it is super important for you to choose your own project. According to Richard Ryan, who's one of the leading psychologists in motivation, a crucial part of motivation is autonomy, or having the power to determine and choose your own future. And I think the reason why medical school wasn't really speaking to me was because I didn't really choose it. I mean, yeah, I chose to go to medical school, but there were so many external factors that really persuaded me. You know, like the allure of prestige, of being able to call myself a doctor, or to make my parents proud or my brother proud. Honestly, just not thinking about enough in college what I should do and just defaulting to the classic Asian stereotype of going to medical school. But when you pick your own project, you actually pick it and you do it and something great comes out of it, there is no more satisfying and fulfilling feeling than that. If you don't choose what you want, it will be chosen for you by your peers, by your parents, by society, for everything, especially work. And work is a huge part of life. Most people work more than they do anything else, more than they hang out with their friends, more than they sleep. And if you're going to have to work a lot, you might as well work on something that you like and that you chose. Now that you've picked your project, the hard part begins. It's always easy to have ideas and say that we're going to do something, but actually doing it is the hard part. In my third year of medical school, I knew that I wanted to build a YouTube channel, but finding the motivation while living my current lifestyle was almost impossible for me to do, right? Like friends would always ask to hang out. I had a comfortable routine that I was living, and it was just so easy to not do anything and fall back into these old habits. If you want to change, your life will fight back. Your mind will fight back. The people around you will fight back. Society will fight back because we are creatures of habit. We don't like change. We like things to be normal. Society and the way that we live is designed for consistency and to stay the same and to resist transformation. And a big part of that is our environment, right? Our environment reinforces who we are, even if we don't realize it. And I knew that if I wanted to grow this channel, I had to do something big. I moved. I physically moved. I moved from where I lived to a whole different part of town. I stopped going out on weekends. I stopped hanging out with some people. I stopped going to the usual parties. I needed a complete reset and space from everything that kept pulling me back. Sometimes that's what it takes. If you want to grow, if you want to expand your skills, your abilities, then you need to remove the option of staying the same. As Spider-Man, my favorite superhero, calls it, you have to take a leap of faith. But the hardest part truly comes right after that. I uprooted my life and I was ready to take action. And now that I was in this new space with new surroundings, I had no distractions anymore, and I had a clear goal, it was time to get to work. But like starting any new project, there was so much to do. There were too many things to learn and not enough time. And mind you, I was still in medical school at this time too. I remember staring at this gigantic list of things I had to do and just feeling crushed that this was like gonna be impossible. And you know, I had the thought, am I cut out for this? Is this a mistake? And I think this is the time when I discovered Dr. K over at Healthy Gamer. And I got into his content, and he had like a few of these video series where he would do these long therapy sessions with streamers, and just hearing other people share their experiences about burnout, about how hard it is to build community or build their own business or YouTube channels and stuff, it just made me feel less alone. And it also made me realize that building anything that you want is going to be hard, and it's going to take a lot of work. I had to learn how to be kind to myself. We always want fast results. We don't like being bad at things. We don't like failing. We don't like being in the trenches. Good things take time, and good things take our best work, and our best work requires us to be kind to ourselves. And I had to kind of keep reinforcing to myself to appreciate the small wins, to count every video as a success, to fall in love with the process again. And it was going to take time, and that's okay. The process itself, like the learning, the growing, the small daily wins, that is where the focus needs to go. Josh Kaufman, he's a researcher who wrote the book 20 Hours, kind of blew my mind that you don't need 10,000 hours to get good at something. You only need 20 hours to get good at something. If you can commit to just 1 hour a day to work on your personal project, in 90 days, you will be shocked at who you've become. You will be a completely different person. I'm not even kidding. And I know this because I've done this multiple times. There will be periods of 90 days where I just disappear and learn something. hop into this monk mode like routine or detox routine. And of course, if you can sustain it for longer than 90 days, that's amazing. You should go for it. Changing your life is a shit ton of work. There's a long list of things that you need to do, but just take it slow. Just take it day by day, just at least do an hour, focus on your project, and you'll be amazed. And after 90 days, best case scenario, you learn a new skill or you learn something about yourself and you can use that moving forward. And worst case scenario, you just go back to who you were. 3 months is not that long in the grand scheme of things. And then you can take a month off or something to reflect and figure out what the next project you want to work on is, or if you want to continue investing in that project, and then start another 90-day sprint. And without even knowing until I've been in business longer, this is just how businesses operate too, with like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and stuff like that. And so those 4 steps over 90 days changed everything for me. I've become a calmer person, happier, I'm more confident in my abilities. I've learned so many skills, and once you learn skills, it kind of snowballs into you becoming more confident in yourself and more self-reliant. And a few years later now, we've built this YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers. We've built an online business where we get to help other creators like you do the same and unlock some freedom and flexibility back into your life, at least to do work that's meaningful to you. And I would never have guessed a couple years ago that I would be a YouTube entrepreneur and not a doctor right now. So if you're looking to take your own leap of faith and start a personal project, whether that's YouTube or your online business or something, then check out this video for sure right here. We've documented our journey about how we did it to give you some examples, to maybe give you some ideas about what's possible and what's not. And so I think you'll really like it.